Are you willing to share a little bit about how neurofeedback changed your life?
Sure. Yeah, I share my story a lot. Um, yeah, where do I begin? Well, I've had several brain maps, of course, because I need to learn to use it, but also you need periodic brain mapping to kind of monitor your progress. And when I was going through the mentoring process, I'm working with one of the pioneers in the field, and I'm going through case studies with him. And I was working on my own self at the time. And in my brain mapping, it had an area that highlighted my EEG was prominent in an area of the brain that's associated with anger. Could you believe
really?
it? And I'm like, I really just don't know why that came up. I'm like the most chill person in the world. Like, I'm
attest to
very
that.
slow to anger. So my mentor goes, well, any history of trauma or head injury? And I'm like, well, I was kind of a tomboy growing up, climbing trees, fell. I'm sure I've hit my head a few times, and I nearly drowned when I was 2, but I don't think that counts. And he goes,
Oh, wow.
excuse me? And I said, yeah, well, when I was 2, I was found submerged in the deep end of the pool, and my brother at the time was 5, and he pulled me out. And my mom she didn't know what to do. Of course, she was a nervous wreck, but long story short, I survived that. But what was cool was my mentor said, at 2 years old, you don't have words to express how you're feeling in those moments that you're submerged in water, cannot breathe, cannot help yourself. So there's going to be some buildup of, at minimum, anger.
Yeah.
And that's written into, your developing brain and then nervous system. And so it's in there. And I said, oh, is that why I wake up with clenched fists and my jaw is kind of, recurring dreams of panic? And he said, oh, and I'm like, oh, okay. It's starting to make sense. So what continued from that was, okay, well, I continue with my own neurofeedback training, and there are other markers there that supported the lack of oxygen injury that my brain had sustained at just 2 years old. And this was in my mid-30s. So,
Wow.
I continued neurofeedback training, and I very quickly stopped second guessing myself. I mean, within 3 sessions, maybe. Generally, it's 6 to 7 before you start to notice some benefits of the trainings. But I was no longer second guessing myself. If I were given a list of 3 things to get, I would panic. I'd go, oh, I'm not going to remember everything. And then my family's going to get mad at me because I didn't get the right food or, whatnot, because whatever it was. I stopped second guessing myself, and I was very comfortable in just going through the day-to-day paces of, I do have it in my memory, and that was part of the lowered panic state feeling, or that quickness to panic, or the elevated heart rate.